All right, I think her name is Lily. That is one of the giraffes that you'll see if you stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani, which is one of the DVC resorts. This new channel is called DVC for adults, and I did it because as we get older, I almost called it DVC for seniors, but it applies to more than just seniors because as you get older, you vacation differently. And sometimes the DVC channels don't cover that. So we're going to cover that today. I'll keep it short and sweet today. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about it, but I'm the kind of guy that I would rather than spending money on a vacation home or a condo in my retirement. I'm a financial guy. I've been retired for 7 years. I would rather put it in a place that I could go to multiple locations. There's 14 Disney resorts that are DVC in the Disney World area, but our home resort, which we'll talk about next week, is Hilton Head. You can go to Hilton Head. There is a Disney resort there. There is a Disney resort in Vero Beach. We go there a lot, usually once a year, sometimes before a cruise. We also we're going to the Grand Californian, and there's also the Disneyland Hotel out there in California. And Disney has a resort in Hawaii called Alani that, even the American Idol people film down there. So that is a really nice place. We'd go there more often if I didn't live in Kentucky and have to fly so far to get there. But anyway, we're going to talk about the basics of DVC. I'll keep it basic in this episode, just in case you've never heard of it. You buy vacation points, is what it amounts to. I'll show you what the dollar amounts for those are now. By the way, I will say that I am a finance guy and I look at the financial side for just about everything and everything I do. But, let's face it, when we're on vacation, we do some things emotionally too. We do emotional buys. I compare it to going to a steakhouse. You're not going in a steakhouse for a special occasion and order a hot dog just because it's cheaper. You're going to order a steak. These resorts are really nice. It's hard for me to go anywhere else. I do have one chain that if there's not a Disney resort around, I do like Embassy Suites, but that's the only plug that I'll give for somebody outside of the DVC arena. I will tell you, you can use your points for so many things, including using 3 years worth of points in 1 year. I'll tell you how to do that next week too, or next episode, I should say. I'm not sure how often I'll be doing these. I've got an extended family of 14 now. It's just me and my wife at home now, but all three of our kids have their own families. I've got two sons and one daughter, and between the three families, we have seven grandchildren. So let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and seven. That's 15. My goodness, I've got an extended family of 15. And I told them perhaps in 3 years, when my youngest grandchild is three, we'll maybe go back down there for a blowout vacation. Me and my wife might not go to the parks. We might let them do that. I've been to the Orlando Disney World area 3 times in the last 12 months. And I only went to one park. I did go to Epic Universe. That was one of the main reasons I went. But I only went to one park at Disney. I went back to Epcot because my son had ridden Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. He told me it was the best thing down there now. So I had to at least check it out, but I didn't do much else. That was my only park day that day. But I'm going to share my screen and show you some numbers just so that I can show you what we're talking about. Okay. So if I hit the right buttons here, we're going to start with, this is a price, the prices that you will pay, which initially looks like a lot. In fact, it is a lot. You can't really do anything with my membership number unless you have my password, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to black that out. Polynesian. I stayed in the Polynesian Tower for 2 nights. Theme park view, man. There's just like watching those fireworks, and that same view gives you the monorail, and at night everything's lit up. It's a really nice place. I'm not as crazy about the regular Polynesian. That's going to break some of your all's heart. And I did try Tonga toast for the first time because I heard so many people talk about it. That's one and done for me. I wasn't a big fan. Give me a good old cinnamon roll like what you get at Gaston's when you're in the Magic Kingdom. But anyway, look at this, $235 a point for the Polynesian. Now, let's say you feel like you need 150 points. That will, if you buy that directly from Disney, that's going to cost you about $35,000. But if you divide that out, it lasts until 2066. If you'll look down here and let's see, what is that? This is 2025. So that is roughly 40 years from now. So all of a sudden, if you divide that out, that's less than $1,000 a year. And I guarantee you, these rooms are about $1,000 a night. So when you look at it all that way, there is a break even that we'll talk about next week, next episode. Now, if you want to just stay at an all-star sports level room, it's going to take you longer to break even. But once you go into one of these rooms, you won't look back. So, given all that, it's easiest for me just to unshare and then go back in. So let me do that. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to change screens away from you. And then I'm going to go back in. That just seems easier to me for some reason. But we shall see. So I'm going to go back in and share now. And I'm going to show you points charts. There are point charts for every resort within this DVC realm. So let's go back and look at it. I just talked about Polynesian. Here are the Polynesian point charts, okay? And it's showing you, I stayed in a deluxe studio. I do that if I'm by myself. That's where I stayed in June. My wife was actually doing a hike between Portugal and Spain in June. So when she goes on a summer trip like that, I usually just go to the Orlando area and goof off a little bit. If you'll drop down to the fourth row of boxes, June 11th, each night, Sunday through Thursday, would have cost me 20 points. If you see that, that's 20. Let's say if I stay 5 nights, 20 times 5 is 100. And of course, if you buy 100 points, you'll have 100 points every year, again, for 40 years. So you can do this 40 times with this purchase. That would be about 23,500. Now, I say all that to say this. I'm going to unshare it once again and have a little discussion with you because I stayed for 5 nights at the Polynesian, same room we just looked at, and it only cost me $77 a point. So that's a big difference, isn't it? I'm going to save all of that financial stuff for the next episode. But the reason I wanted to do this podcast is that there are things that change as you get older. You maybe don't go to the area as often, or if you do, you may not go to the theme parks while you're there. The main reason I bought our points was to let our children's families go, and two of the three of them did this past year. So it was so much fun to allow them to go to Animal Kingdom Lodge and things like that and watch the animals. My grandkids love watching those animals on the balcony. One of them got up before this kid is 6. He got up before everybody else one morning, went in and poured himself a cup of cereal, walked out on the balcony before everybody else got up just so he could watch the animals. And then another couple of the grandkids kept pointing at the giraffe every time. It's so cool seeing a giraffe walk by your room. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to go on a safari or something. But anyway, we'll call that quits for this episode. Next episode, we will talk about the financials and how the emotions enter into the decision and why I made the decision I did to buy at the resort I wanted to, which we bought at the resort that we go to most often, but it's not at Disney World. So we'll talk about that. See you next time.